Hello everyone, welcome to the February 12th League of Legends DFS/betting breakdown. Um, just real quick before we even get started with anything, I want to mention that earlier this morning I went in and had ankle repair surgery. I just had a partially torn ligament from a few months back from playing basketball and just never healed up, so I went and had to get that fixed. And the reason I mention that is because I am still on the pain meds, the pretty heavy stuff. So if I sound a little out of it or some things I say don't make sense, that'll be why. Although I say things that don't make sense anyway, sober. So it is. Just want to let you guys know that if I'm talking in circles and not making sense, say things incorrectly, all that stuff. You know why, but hopefully I can try to slow things down, make things a little clear as I go through all these stuff. If you guys don't understand something or if I am confused with something, just let me know, either Twitter, comments, whatever. I'll see everything. So let me know if you need some clarification on anything. Quickly, we can recap because we actually had a pretty substantial day yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty busy day for myself, so I had to speed run the league video and get it out early for everyone and managed to actually call some winners. So pretty stoked about that as always. The first one was the Ultra Prime Anyone's Legend series. I just got done rewatching these games earlier today after I got home after surgery. So maybe my insights aren't as keen as maybe they could or should be, but from what I gathered, Ultra Prime just looked pretty good here in the first series. The Aatrox or the Wukong and the Jarvan just seemed to give Betty too many problems on the Jinx. Like, he just couldn't get away from those two. Jarvan just presses ult, and then Aatrox, or I don't know why I keep saying that. Then Wukong jumps in and ults, and it's just too impossible for Betty to play the game here. So that was tough. I'm not sure why he built a rapid fire cannon. You already outrange Zeri and Ryze, and if you're in range to hit Jarvan or Wukong, then you're probably already getting jumped onto by them. So that was a weird selection. I would have liked to see the Runans here. I feel like the Runans is getting underutilized on Jinx. I'm not sure why, but your AoE teamfight pressure with the Runans with the Jinx rockets, it just seems pretty crazy to me. So I'm not sure why it's like rarely built. I understand when you go like cracking into LDR into IE, like it's not always ideal when you don't get the armor pen till the fourth item, but the ADC build path is just kind of bad like that. I think like you have to go mythic first, you have to go IE third, so your only choice is really the second item, so it's hard to get situational with the builds. So I get it, but I just didn't like that specifically. I mean, this is like kind of just what I preach about with the Anyone's Legend side. If they play slow and try to out macro, then they're just gonna lose. They just bleed gold like throughout the game. I'm not entirely sure how, really. Like, I watch them play and they like play fine, but they just like lose gold everywhere. I don't know. Specifically in the first game, Chocho made a crazy bad play to start it off and give up the first blood, and that's something I noticed. Like, sometimes if their coordination isn't there, then it can look pretty bad for them quickly. But again, I'm not too like, I don't want to put a bunch of stock into that. So we that's the kind of stuff we know. Like, these are both bottom 4 teams. We said that already. We both are bottom 5 teams. We know that, and that's pretty much why I ended up on the AL side. I am a fan of the team, but again, the price was just crazy to me. So that's how we get there. And they ended up bringing it back here in the second and third game. ZDZ, I want to call out his Aatrox. He looks really good on this champion. I do wish maybe he would show some other things. But his Aatrox for sure is really clean, really good, and I really love what I see from ZDZ on the Aatrox. Hopefully teams don't pick up on that and he doesn't start getting like target banned and that stuff. That could cause some problems, but it's pretty hard to give up a ban on like something like Aatrox at the moment when there's just so many powerful picks like the Twisted Fate, Gwen, Zeri probably. They're banning like Jace. Like there's so many things that are hard to deal with that Aatrox just seems to fall through the cracks a little. But I liked what I saw from AL. They look super strong, team fighting, very coordinated. This is what I love to see from the AL side in the game 2 and 3, and they managed to get there and bring it home for me. So I had them as pretty heavily stacked in my single entry lineup, and they came through for me in spades. So, always love that. Big fan of that when you're winning money, especially when it's through your favorite team. So good stuff from them. BLG TT, not a lot to talk about here really. The minus 2,500 team got the job done in the 2-0. There wasn't a lot really surprise going to happen, I think. But I actually like the Thunder Talk roster. It sucks that they kind of got put in the blender the first game, with this roster. But I actually like Chieftain and UCal coming over from the LCK. They have LCK experience paired up with Puff, Southwind, and New. I thought those 3 players were actually decent. I think Thunder Talk is going to be like a team that I like and look forward to using in the future. Pretty much just like tough that they played a top 3 team probably and got handed a tough loss. A pretty dominant one, but BLG got the job done. Wasn't too crazy and anywhere across the board, but I like Thunder Talk going forward. I'll probably pick them as some underdog going forward. I'm not sure who they play or when they play or anything like that, but when you see Thunder Talk against in a winnable matchup, I'll probably be on them, and we'll see what happens there. OMG V5. This one went like super as I expected. Went to the 3rd game. I thought V5 would edge it out, and they managed to do so. The experience just a little bit too one-sided there, I think, for Rookie over Cream. But I liked what I saw from both of these teams. They both are looking really strong. Top 8 maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look and see something specific, but they're both really strong teams. That's the gist that I'm getting. The point that I'm getting to is 2 strong teams, pretty closely matched. I believe I had predicted the V5 2-1. They got the reverse sweep over OMG and got the job done. They ended up being like one of the top stacks. I believe they were the secondary stack that took down the Big End tournament. I believe it might have been like Karsa, Photic, and PP God or something. 3 stack. I'm not sure, but they actually had some bloody wins in the 2nd and 3rd game. The 24 kills, they went pretty crazy here, and then the super solid 3rd game, and they just did like a little bit more in the 1st game compared to Anyone's Legend. So that was the difference maker there for V5. They got the job done. I think that was a clean sweep of the LPL, all 3 teams. I think I even predicted scores right. I don't know if I said an Anyone's Legend score, but it would have been 2-1. I had BLG 2-0. I had V5 2-1. So clean sweep there in the LPL. Heading over to Korea. I don't know why I hesitated there. These games were not great. We were in the right spot. Yep. So we had Frederibrion versus Nongshim, and of course, after I make the video and release it, Nongshim declared that their mid laner BDD. I'm kind of blanking on who they. Yeah, it was Ghost and Peter. So their mid, bot, and support all are subbed out for COVID reasons. I don't know. I don't think they have it. I think it might have been a contact thing. But as you guys could see here, like Ghost got cleared in between the 1st and 2nd game. So he ended up going to support. And it was just a weird thing. Like they put Ghost back on the support. I don't know. They ended up getting the game 2 win. I think arguably their two best players, Kana and Dread, were still there anyway, but it's just tough to kind of fight through that adversity, I think. And, it came back to bite them here. And, it's tough. Like, I feel like I'm not going to give myself the loss on this prediction, because when you have triple players, when you have two different players and then a player role swapping to fill support, like it's tough to take that one. So this will probably be like a no contest for me in my record, at least. I did say to kind of avoid this anyway. I did have the lean on Nongshim, but that was of course when they had their whole team, and things were tough there. DRX Hanwha, I believe I kind of speedran this one as well. I was on the DRX side, I believe, to just get the job like 2-0, maybe 2-1, and DRX got the job done 2-1. This one kind of just went as expected. I don't think there's much to talk about really about specifically. Depth is looking pretty good. I think that's kind of the only takeaway. I feel like these strong ADs are really coming to life in this meta, so you kind of love to see it for those strong ADC players, and they got the job done. Pretty happy with that. As we go to the future, again, I don't want to spend too much time, post-surgery and all. I don't want to break down too much. I kind of just want to give some general thoughts. Quickly, EDGWE, best team versus worst team, I think. So EDG 2-0, I don't think there's anything to say there. Although I should have, I don't know why I keep doing this. Keep forgetting lineups. Let's see if there's any changes in the LPL lineups. Oh yeah, there are some stuff we need to talk about. So for the shout out to whoever this is, I actually don't know. I just Googled, I just searched LPL lineups, and this is the first one I saw. So thank you for this. And no surprises, I believe, here at all, but should be Team EDG with the 2-0 here. Weibo FPX, this is actually a super exciting matchup. I think this will be a really good test for FPX. I'm not sure where the odds will lie. I'd imagine Weibo will be the favorite here, but I'm going to take the lean of going on the FPX side. I've kind of read this team a little bit early on. I was kind of disappointed when they subbed out Beishuan for Klid. But again, I want to stress, I don't think Klid is a bad player, so they're looking pretty good. I like FPX. I think maybe they get the job done. I think the top gap between Jallahu and the Shy is going to be a huge problem. This will be a close series. I'd imagine it goes probably 3. Maybe you'd argue Weibo should be better in the third game series. I understand that, but I'm going to lean with the FPX side, and I think maybe they'll get the job done in the 2-1 fashion. So the reason I wanted to bring up lineups is because Top Esports cleaned house. They brought in a new top laner and support. So we still have Cheon, Knight, and Jackie Love. They bring in Wayward in the top lane and Mark in support. So we did speculate that they would be swapping out supports. That was a rumor going on in the LPL scene, and they, did do that. So not too much of a surprise. I think it was kind of writing was on the wall there that they were going to make changes. They're going to think that the talent they have is too strong to be losing. I definitely agree. Like Tiana and Knight are really, really, really skilled individually. I'm obviously not a big fan of Jackie Love, and I don't think Zhou was ever turning heads. I don't even remember who their... I wonder if it'll be here. Oh yeah, it was Zoom. I thought Zoom was decent, so I'm kind of surprised that they swapped it up to Wayward, but maybe they thought Wayward will have a little bit more of a voice, and that just seems to be the biggest problem that they're lacking. So Wayward was already on their team. If you guys don't know who Mark is, Mark actually played for, I believe he was mostly on the BLG team. It was LGD and BLG. So he was on some lower end teams. He was never that great. But I think he's just kind of an experienced voice and should be able to hopefully lead the team. That's kind of what they're hoping, I'd imagine. And Wayward just seems to be a top academy prospect coming through their program. So I'm sure that they're probably pretty high on him internally. We don't know that much about him just because he has only played in those academy games. So I am a proponent of firing up the academy players early on. But I think they're just getting kind of thrown into the grinder here against RNG. I think RNG should take the series pretty handedly. Although I expect top to improve with these roster changes, surprisingly. So I don't think that'll be necessarily a hot take that top will get better as they lose some bad players. But I like Wayward going forward. I actually like Mark as well. It's just tough going against probably the second best team in the league, maybe the best team, at least top 3. And, I love what I see from RNG too much. So I'll go with RNG. I'll get the 2-0. I just think that we have not seen much from top to give us hope, and they'll have to prove something to us at some point before they can see our money, most likely, I believe. So I'm going to go with the RNG 2-0. I like them a good amount, actually, for DFS. They'll probably be my go-to favorite. I'd imagine FPX will be an underdog. We'll look, but I like them in a 2-1. Then I'll go with EDG 2-0 as well. It'll be tough to just choose between RNG and EDG here. We can find odds. Yeah, these are about what I expected. I'm kind of surprised RNG is only a little bit of a favorite over top esports, if I'm honest. I feel like we've seen just a lot more from RNG compared to TES, top esports. So that's a little surprising to me, but I understand it. I do understand it. So, maybe RNG is the place you want to go instead of EDG. I wonder who is more expensive. RNG are relatively cheap, so maybe they're the ones that people go to. I'm not sure. Again, I say this every video, but I'm not an ownership guy. I just don't know how ownership will break down on these teams and these players. I feel like we'll look at their DFS stuff coming up soon, but they seem relatively similar to me. I'd maybe lean RNG, maybe because people will see the odds and just want to go to the minus 1400 EDG. Maybe that'll be the case. But I like the RNG side a good amount here. I think this is probably an overall decent spot for them. Quickly, LCK. I don't want to talk too much about the LCK. T1 Gen G. I think Gen G are still having problems with COVID players. Let's see. We can check their Wikipedia. Who did they play? No, they played Sandbox. I know that. It was they had to bring in Young J and Lospa for the jungle and support. I don't know if they're gonna have their main roster back. Maybe I could check and see, because that actually would change things surprisingly. Let's see, Gen G Esports. Yeah. On Twitter, I'm not seeing anything. So I guess I'll just say my what ifs. I lean the Gen G side either way, from a betting standpoint and an upset standpoint. I don't love this series for DFS, so I'd probably X out the whole LCK game series, both the LCK series for DFS. I think the disparity in kills between the LPL and LCK is just too wide of a margin at the moment. It seems like LCK are just too content. Like, every team in the LCK is just too content to go late and find a regular team fight where the better teams come out on top usually. So I just don't like. There's just not enough proactivity and reactivity in the LCK for my liking, especially in the T1 Gen G series. So that's some news I'd watch. Maybe I've missed something with the Genji players. If Genji have their full roster back, I'm gonna lean Genji pretty heavily. Um, let me take a look again, maybe in case I missed something. Let's see, Genji. Yeah, they have Genji Peanut. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get some information on that through the night. I'm not sure. I guess we could close that part. If Genji play, I'm going to bet them at plus 155. I feel like they should arguably be favored. I like Genji a good bit to win over T1 if they have their full roster. Heck, even if they have Peanut over Young Jay, and if they don't have Lehens for some reason, like if Peanut comes back, I'll leave it at that. If Peanut comes back, I'm betting Genji. If they both come back, I'm gonna bet them probably just heavier. I like Genji here a good bit. I think T1 are arguably fraudulent. I share a pretty heavy sentiment with the Forest within, and his state of mind also is that T1 are the worst winless team ever. And I kind of agree. I've kind of been, I don't want to say hating on them, but I've been bullish on them as well for most of the year. When I did my power rankings, they were at the bottom of the top tier. You know, I just don't see a lot from this T1 team other than praying Gumayushi carries them. And it has gotten them far. They're 7-0 right now, but, you know, I just got to lean with the Genji side if their roster comes back. If not, then I'm just going to leave it all alone. So, you can keep that in mind with this series. Damwon Sandbox, just too big of a disparity here overall. I definitely just lean with Damwon to get the 2-0, and maybe it could be a little closer, but the Sandbox just kind of haven't improved that much. They got 2-0 by Hanwha. I mean, they're losing to the other bad teams, which is bad. They lost to KDF. Like, there's just not a lot to go off of there. And Damwon, although, again, they kind of look shaky, I just think there's way too much skill there. I think Damwon get the job done 2-0, but I'm not going to be there in the betting market or the DFS market at all. I'm kind of leaving that everything in the LCK alone unless the Genji players return. So that's something to keep in mind. We can, based on that, and we're going to X out the LCK, so I'm just going to look at the LPL. The links are in the description if you guys are interested, but looking at this yourselves, but I'm not going to. It is Weibo FPX, and then it is RNG Top Esports. So we can look at how the combined kills per minute are breaking down. Whoops, I have Ultra Prime in there for some reason. What team are we missing? Top. Okay. So it looks like EDG, FPX, and WE are towards the top. So it's looking pretty good there for EDG side. Looks like RNG, Weibo are towards the bottom. It's not ideal for the teams we like in FPX and RNG. It looks like top and RNG are towards the bottom, so maybe that's one where you want to stay away. But again, it's not a big disparity, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's look at how they're faring in wins. Looks like EDG is doing pretty good in wins, FPX is doing okay in wins, and RNG are not getting much done in wins. So yeah, that's going to be enough to pick that tiebreaker there for me. I'm probably just going to have to go to the EDG side over RNG here. Let's see. Yeah, RNG are down there. EDG and FPX are on the upper end. Let's check losses. So WE, the top end of losses, yeah, that's going to be definitely a EDG over WE side then. Top esports do get down in losses, but it's not the biggest thing. Weibo and and Weibo's down there. That's a little tough, but I mean, I'm sure the FPX EDG series will see, or the FPX Weibo series will see some blood. So yeah, not ideal, not too much to love necessarily, but I think I found my leans. We can run to our run the query and check the player stats. I'm going with EDG and FPX as my teams. Again, links in the description if you guys want to do this stuff on your own and pick out your own teams and stuff. But looks like JJ, Mako, Viper, and Scout are pretty heavily up there, so that's going to be a solid core of players. Looks like none of the top laners are doing particularly well, but Jalo, who has a good kill share, so that's probably something you can look at. Sorry, I'm getting a little antsy here with my leg, so I apologize for that, but I'm sure you guys understand. See Clid kind of down there, but that's just one series to look at. It seems predominantly through the FPX bottom lane. LWX and Hung are really high up there, and then same could be said for EDG. So we'll have to see how roster construction will look for me, but I'm probably just going to be using these two teams. I'm not going to get too crazy. There's not a lot of spots really I love, so I'll just go with probably. I'd imagine this will probably be one of the more popular builds. I don't see, maybe people will get to TES. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, Mark and Wayward are in the player pool, so that's pretty good for that. But Tion is even priced as the. Oh yeah, Tion is coming back for Xiaopeng. Kind of forgot about that. Nah, that's a. We'll just blame the meds for that. So, yeah, I don't know. That just feels a little. It is coming off a break, so maybe we see a new top esports team. I see the upside there with top, but I'm just gonna be late on top. I'm not gonna try to predict that and try to get ahead of that by any means. I'll be late with top. I'll wait and see on them. I'd imagine FPX will be the popular underdog people go with, and EDG will probably be one of the more popular favorites. So not ideal. I feel like I'm kind of picking some chalk here, but it is what it is. I feel like these are the best spots, so we'll just go with them and see what happens. So that'll be it for me today. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. I know it was probably a little bit different than you guys are used to, so I'll apologize for that. Maybe things will be better tomorrow. I'm not sure, but it is what it is, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.